One really clear reason why Russia wouldn't want Ukraine to join NATO. Do you want to know?
Oh, yeah.
Because they wanted to invade it. We could have protected Ukraine by getting them in NATO, because then if they were in NATO and Russia invaded, Article 5 would have been invoked, and they wouldn't have wanted that. So actually, Ukraine joining NATO was like the best fucking move that could have possibly happened. They're so unintelligent and propagandized by the fucking Kremlin that when I give you the literal transcript from everything that Kamala Harris had said in Munich, Germany, and I ask you to specifically point out what she said within that transcript that apparently started Russia's invasion of Ukraine, 4 days later, you're like, well, Dean, I can't do it, but trans people and gay people. What's up? Do you support Trump, Jalen?
Yes.
Okay, how do you?
27.
All right, and Mr. Jalen, why do you support the man, the myth, the failure, Donald J. Trump?
He's doing so well. Like, even the topics you were just talking to the last guy about, like Ukraine, we now have such a good deal where we make money off that war and are actively negotiating with Putin to end it versus not calling him and throwing hundreds of millions of dollars at the problem.
Okay, well, I guess we actually are throwing hundreds of millions of dollars at the problem, as you'd put it, because as I told the last guest, we've now resumed military aid to Ukraine. And in response to your first point, where you told us, well, at least now we're talking to Putin compared to not talking to him under the Biden-Harris administration, I think talking to Putin and failing to meet a resolution makes us look worse and weaker on the international stage than not talking to him at all, because we know that more pressure will be required until he's willing to secede the Ukrainian land that he's already taken, right? And that was the strategy of the Biden-Harris administration, was to continue to ramp up their pressure on the country, to continue to support not only domestic but global support. They didn't have a strategy. To not only increase domestic but global support for Ukraine, and then once they've gotten Russia in a corner, then to say, hey, here comes the peace talks. But Trump, on the other hand,
Biden, Kamala, their handlers, who had the strategy? Because it was shit. Within 6 months, we've seen multiple wars end, and really all it took was a Truth Social post, to be honest.
Okay. Well, my friend, what I am not...
We had all of the European leaders in the White House together negotiating with Trump. They couldn't get Biden on the phone, and you would vote for that again. You miss Bidenomics so bad.
What am I not? What I am not is a magic 8-ball.
You sit up here and justify everything they did for 4 years.
I just put you on mute. Now, the reason I put it on mute is clear. I'm not a magic 8-ball. You can't just shake me and expect to...
Like, you're just gaslighting yourself.
Okay.
And it doesn't make sense. But go ahead.
So do you have the decency of a toddler at least?
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to prove it to me by allowing me to finish speaking 1, and then when you get beat, don't pivot 2. I'm not a magic 8-ball. You can't just shake me up and get an immediate response to any
just keep it simple and non-bullshit.
So there's your first strike, my friend. I'm going to start treating you like I'm going to treat my kid in 10 years when I have one. It's crazy. I know. Got to talk to adults like toddlers. What is the deal with you guys? No impulse control. Sit down, shut up, put the binky in your mouth, or I'll forcefully do it to you by pressing that mute button. Okay?
Have you had enough time to think? Are you ready?
Okay. Well, I mean, now the debate has been put at the side because we have other issues that we got to work out first, such as your immense lack of impulse control. So now that we've got that figured out,
talking about you being interrupted like you're...
Now that we've gotten that figured out, I would rather spend 2 minutes talking about how you're interrupting me to stop the interruptions than spending 45 minutes having a non-productive dialogue with you because of the incessant interruptions. A little bit of pain now for gain later. Now I'm going to go back to my point. I believe it was clear. The first thing that you'd asked of me was, well, you think that the Biden-Harris administration had it wrong all along because they were just throwing money at the issue and not talking to Putin. Okay? Well, I gave you 2 points. The first point I gave you is that now Donald Trump has resumed all funding to Ukraine. He did that on July 11th because he realized it was a smart strategic move to put more international pressure on Russia. Point number 2, I believe that it makes our country look weaker if we're bending the knee to Kremlin propaganda, like the suggestion that we're spending too much money on Ukraine, and then trying to negotiate some type of deal with Putin, failing 5 times over, and then Donald Trump saying he doesn't know what's gone into him, and then also giving him a ride in, the Beast, the presidential limousine, and then walking away from Alaska with absolutely nothing. I'd say that makes us look weaker than applying more international pressure on the country while also building up domestic support for Ukraine, and then holding off talks until we have gotten Putin to a point where he's basically forced to accept a peace deal.
Got you. I mean, I can understand why you're disappointed we haven't had the war ended, but there's been progress. They're talking about it every day. Not just this war, multiple wars, and he's been successful on ending multiple other wars. But the point is that I'm making on this Ukraine deal, we now have we have an interest in defending Ukraine, and we get paid. So it's like before, we didn't have that same money. It was just money wasted on a war that still wasn't ended after hundreds of billions of funding that was wasted that we don't recoup. Now we recoup it, so it's only a better situation because of Trump, and he's still working on it, and I think he's going to be successful. You should support him being successful versus
that's the difference between
shit. That's not
That's the difference between me. That's the difference between me and you, is that you consider it more successful under Trump, even though more innocent Ukrainians are dying than they did under the Biden-Harris administration, since Russia is launching their largest
the war
tax
started
yet.
because Kamala offered them to join NATO.
So there you go. So there's another interruption. Jalen, remember how we were working on that impulse control, my friend? I want you to apologize.
I wasn't done.
You literally stopped talking for 30 seconds.
The worst.
Bad, Jalen. Bad. Okay? Bad. Now I'm going to go back to what I was saying. Thank you. So here's the big difference between me and you. Okay? Right? You think that it is more successful under Trump because even though more innocent Ukrainians are dying than they did under the Biden-Harris administration, because Russia's launched their largest attacks yet, because Ukraine is weaker, because he stopped the funding for 3 months, at least now we're exploiting their vulnerabilities, forcing them to accept a minerals deal, so we're personally profiting. Okay? You think profit is more important than people. I think people is more important than profit.
They're weaker considering everybody just raised their spending to 5% of their GDP on defense, which just doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
He's doing good on Ukraine.
So countries in NATO.
He's doing good on peace. Let's go to another topic. You lose that one.
Wait, if I lose that topic, then why are you the ones shifting the topic?
I mean, you can continue.
Okay, great.
It's really not debatable.
So you just,
unless you're just trying to gaslight yourself and your viewers. It's ridiculous.
That
honestly.
in itself sounds like a gaslighting topic.
It's just not understanding how things work, honestly. That's what it is.
Okay, great.
But it's typical.
So if I don't understand how things work, then tell me why I'm wrong without pivoting. Respond to the last argument I gave you, demonstrating how you prefer profit over people.
More people aren't dying. They started dying because they offered Ukraine to join NATO, which Putin said, if you do that, we'll start a war to take over Ukraine because we think we have the rights to that land anyway.
Do you think that Russia was justified in their invasion?
Absolutely not. No.
Okay, great. And then also, so point number one, I have one really clear reason why Russia wouldn't want Ukraine to join NATO. Do you want to know?
Yeah.
Because they wanted to invade it. We could have protected Ukraine by getting them in NATO, because then if they were in NATO and Russia invaded, Article 5 would have been invoked, and they wouldn't have wanted that. So actually, Ukraine joining NATO was like the best fucking move that could have possibly happened.
So if Russia wants to take over Mexico, or for example, just something on our border, we're going to let them do that? Or is Russia a similar power to we are, and they're not going to allow that to happen? And warned us.
They've already allowed it to happen. Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia.
Democrats are just stupid. They think the system can't be broke. They think they can do whatever they want to do, like offer citizenship to millions of people and all the benefits and welfare that comes along with it, and not break the system. It's craziness. So good job, Trump.
I have a question.
And you should say thank you.
I have a question.
We have smart leadership.
I have a question. Who does Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia border?
Do what?
What one country does Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia border?
No idea.
Russia! And did you know all 3 of those countries joined NATO in the last 25 years?
So they want to expand it further with Ukraine. You think that it's threatening to Russia, and they told us not to continue when we already agreed not to expand more? Like, I'm telling you what started the war.
Wait, you're telling us that we already agreed not to expand more. You're telling us that we already agreed not to expand more. When did we do that?
They said they weren't going to expand. When Russia was wanting to join NATO, they allowed those few countries to join without starting a war.
No. When did we agree not to expand more towards Russia?
It's like we kept expanding and they brushed it off each time.
No. Tell me. When did we agree not to expand more towards Russia?
I would have to get off and Google it.
When the Soviet Union was still formed, when NATO was just getting formed, and expanding NATO any more eastward would have literally ingressed onto Russian territory. Wow. Yeah, we made a verbal agreement not to literally ingress onto Russian territory. Wow.
They said don't let Ukraine join NATO. Kamala went out there and said, we're thinking about letting them join NATO. Then they invaded Ukraine like 2 weeks later. It's very simple. Okay. That was their excuse. They wanted an excuse because they're a warring country.
Okay.
The Democrats are stupid and dangerous.
Okay. So you're saying that the Democrats are stupid and dangerous. Kamala Harris started it by going out there and saying that we're thinking about letting Ukraine join NATO. Can you please show me where she said this? I just want to be able to have the resource to show how like based Kamala Harris is for considering allowing them to join NATO. Could you give me a source to demonstrate that's what she said a week before Russia started their invasion?
It was public. She went out to like a conference and said it publicly.
Give me a source. I just want a source.
It was a big enough deal for them to have an excuse to invade Ukraine.
Could you give me a source for your claim, sir?
Justification of it.
Could you give me a source?
Justification of the war, correct?
Where's your source?
That's literally their justification for the war.
Okay, I'm not hearing a source. I want a source that Kamala Harris actually said this. I would love a source to demonstrate how she's so based.
I don't know how it started.
Okay, you're pivoting. What am I asking you? Can you repeat my question?
Not until you answer that.
Why are you so fucking stun-locked? Okay, so let me make this clear. I ask you to provide a source for your claim, and then you weasel away from providing a source from your claim, attempt to ask me a question, and then when I repeat that I want a source for your claim, you just belligerently deny and expect me to answer your new question that you asked after I asked you for your source. No. Hey, Jaden, I'm sorry. We're not third graders. This isn't like, the debate team in elementary school. Okay, we're both adults, and we're trying to have a productive dialogue, little bro. So, little man, little homie, I'm going to have to ask you to provide me a source for your claim that a week before Russia invaded Ukraine, Kamala Harris publicly said that they're thinking about letting Ukraine join NATO. Keep in mind, if Kamala Harris said this would make Kamala Harris based as fuck. Because not only should they thought about letting Ukraine join NATO, they should have let them join NATO. But I'm just curious. I would love to see your source, my friend. Okay, he went on pause. Maybe he's looking for a source. Who knows? Why are the guests so insufferable today? Is that just me, or are you guys like getting that too? They're all just lost in the sauce. Let's go to move on to that next guest. Oh,
because we're mad. They almost ruined the country, and you want to vote for that shit again. It's ridiculous.
Okay, Jaden. What's ridiculous is you saying words and then not substantiating them.
Like, are you mad we're deporting people? Because that's a good thing. Yes, they should do it in a better way, but it is what it is.
Right now, we have over 15,000 people watching this stream, which means there's over 15,000 people watching you play dumb and not provide a source for your claim. We still don't have one.
I'm seeing a bunch of articles. I'm trying to find a good source that you're not going to bullshit around. One second.
Nikki, thank you so much for the galaxy. I appreciate you for that love. That is incredibly kind.
The war that is ongoing is your source. Hello. That's like the leader that started the war and is actively engaged in the war saying that's why it's going on is probably a good fucking source.
Wait, you think that Putin's word of mouth is a good source?
I'm telling you, that's what they justify the war with. Okay, they think the West bad. China, Iran, Russia, all these people are doing whatever they want to do to conspire against us, and now they can't because Trump just reordered the all of world trade in just a few months, by the way. And we took in hundreds of billions of dollars with 0.02 month-to-month inflation, 2.7 year over year, after we've taken in all these billions, and he's just doing such a great job. Like, what are you mad at? But I'm still looking. 1 second.
Okay, I didn't listen to any of that because we're gonna go one subject at a time.
You should have. Maybe
So
you should
I
learn,
just
you
want
could learn
to,
something.
I just want to clarify that you're telling me your source that Kamala Harris said that she wants Ukraine to join NATO a week before Russia's invasion of Ukraine is Putin's word of mouth.
So in February 2022, at a collective conference, she said it's a conversation we have open. It's not the decision of one country to let them join. She said her and the other Europe, or us and the other European countries are considering it, and it's not off the table.
Okay, so February of 2022. she said
Literally
that
2
there's
weeks
open
before he
dialogue.
invaded.
Okay. What's the source? And what was the date?
The source is NATO.international, where they're talking about NATO expansion. So I'm gonna post the link in the comments.
So you just
this
said
is
that
literally what the leader.
you just said .international. International is not a subdomain.
NATO.international. NATO.nto.
NATO.nto. It's INT.
But NATO.int. My
Okay,
bad.
so now where can I find this on their website?
You're not gonna find that. That's a source for just talking about NATO.
Bruh! Oh
the quote
my
just-
god! Holy
it's
shit!
live though. I'm trying to find.
It's like pulling
like the video.
nails with you people. Jesus Christ, Jalen. Dude,
The Munich Security Conference is where she said that at. She just basically said
They have the right to determine their own future and pursue NATO membership. It's not the right of one country to say that they can join. And I hear you that you're saying they should have been able to join. It would have prevented the war, but we don't know what would have happened. That's a big risk to take.
okay, can I have your source?
I'm not gambling. What, the Munich conference? Just Google the video and listen to what Kamala says. She says a lot of dumb shit.
Oh wait. So you just said that it's dumb to say that apparently that not one country in NATO doesn't have the right to deny another country entry? That's not dumb. That's accurate.
Ukraine specifically, yeah, because they were a corrupt country before they were invaded. It was just not a good situation.
Okay, so
And-
I
and
just
we-
want to
and
clarify.
everybody,
Even like
like,
what you just said that
most-
she said wasn't dumb. It was in fact accurate. Like
Do
what
what?
did you say that she said?
That they can join Ukraine, maybe. That they can join NATO.
Wait.
maybe,
That's
possibly,
okay. So where in the transcript can I read
is
that?
the gist.
So I have the transcript open. If anyone wants to
Great.
find this on Google, you could just look up remarks by the vice president in exchange with reporters in Munich, Germany on February 20th, 2022. Wait, are you telling me that Russia up and planned an invasion in 4 days?
You have to, so most world leaders read between the lines, and just smart people do that as well. So when she says that, you see that that's being considered. Within
We'll go
joining NATO.
we'll go
It's
through
not
the
complicated at all.
We'll go through the transcript.
This is why you guys keep wars ongoing forever. And
Wait.
never-
We'll go. Well, so where in the remarks did she say like anything bad?
Can we move on?
No, because I have all of the remarks open from Kamala Harris right now.
Okay.
You could go find this yourself. Okay, I just type in remarks by the vice president in exchange with reporters in Munich, Germany.
What is
on
that? What
February
website is
20th.
that on?
So this is on presidency.ucsb.edu. So where on here can I find any remark that was negative that started Russia's invasion of Ukraine?
I'm just telling you how they justify the war.
Okay,
They think
so-
West is
so once
evil
again,
because
so-
we support trans shit and gay shit. And
So now,
crazy shit.
you're doing the
And they're
thing. You're doing the thing. You're doing the thing. You're doing the thing where you lose on a point like a good little boy because you're so unintelligent and propagandized by the fucking Kremlin that when I give you the literal transcript from everything that Kamala Harris had said in Munich, Germany, and I ask you to specifically point out what she said within that transcript that apparently started Russia's invasion of Ukraine. 4 days later, you're like, well, Dean, I can't do it, but trans people and gay people. Shut the hell up, sit the fuck down, stop being so emotional and irrational, and answer the goddamn question. What specifically can I read inside of this transcript that Kamala Harris said that was wrong and DUMB that very obviously sparked Russia's invasion of Ukraine? Justify your claim, sir. Stop being a weasel. Stop being spineless. Stand behind what you said. Tell me what I can read inside of this transcript that Kamala Harris said that obviously started Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
I don't think that's the only thing that caused and is the obvious reason for the war, but that's a big one.
Okay, so then what can I read in the transcript?
Where she says that Ukraine has a right to determine its own future and pursue NATO membership, and then talking about how they're looking at it with other European countries.
Okay. So you're saying, so where can I find that in the transcript?
It's like word for word what she said. I just chat GPT'd it.
Oh, you just
quotation mark.
You just chat GPT'd it.
Yeah, but we get the concept and the point hasn't changed.
Okay.
But if you can't find something on a little transcript and that's going to like debunk the whole war that's going on, I mean, congrats. You're super confident in that, in you being right.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just look through this real quick. Anything
topic?
new that you're planning to offer to Ukraine? Ukraine has our support. When he spoke at the meeting, frustration, say that attack is likely to happen on Ukraine.
We also have $1 trillion minerals deal with Ukraine now, and we have it set up to where we fund all the equipment in our companies.
Well, one second. I'm just looking through the transcript. Yeah, I'm reading through the transcript. I just highlighted the word Ukraine, and now I'm looking at everything Kamala Harris said mentioned Ukraine. I just straight up don't see what you said. See, listen, for everybody watching, also Matt, I appreciate you. We're going to move on soon, so I don't know if it's super needed. For everybody watching, here is what is really important, okay? You will have loud mouths. You will have emotional men like this guy that come up here, they'll puff their chests, they'll say shit, but when push comes to shove and they're asked to prove it, they can't. Okay? Right? And that's why I've like hyper drilled in on this one point that he made in passing of his incoherent talking points.
Good thing
Right,
Congress
just to
is aware
demonstrate.
if you're not.
One moment, sir. You've been defeated. Just to demonstrate.
You think so?
how
It's crazy.
incoherent
It's
and truly
nuts.
basis
Like you
these
live in
things
this
are.
reality.
Well, I live in reality. Good self-own. I'm going to give you one last opportunity to point me towards specifically what she said in this transcript that I've given you the source for that started Russia's invasion of Ukraine. One last chance, my friend. One last chance. And he left. And he left. That one felt good. Let's go and get that next Trump supporter loaded up in here.